So yeah, on the left side, I selected the car. On the right side, you can see our cloud data platform. And in violet color, this is the power in watts. So the peak power we can see here is around about 8 kilowatt. So very interesting. It's nearly the value you said before. You mentioned it in our interview before. And what you also can see is very nice, the curve, the typically solar curve from the morning till the afternoon. So, and we see that the charging start was quite fast, quite quick. So you just plugged it in, I assume, at 9:30 or so around about. And then we can perfectly see the sundowner at around about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, and the state of charge changes in green from 20% up till 74%. So that's really cool. So that's really fine. So you proved for the whole world that charging up a car with just 8 kilowatt peak power putting on the floor is possible from 20% up to 70% within one day. And I think that is very, very cool. And I think you are the first that proved it in that way, or not?
Yeah, probably. We don't know of any other expedition or that they do it in the same way as we do. So that's quite unique.
Yeah. So it was very cool to do this for the first time in Morocco and to actually see that it worked. That was it felt really nice.
Yeah. What we also can see here is on the left side is that you charged in 38 kilowatt hours, so within the whole day. So that's a big amount, of course. And I also showed up I will delete the power curve. I plotted also the temperature of the cells, and that's very interesting. You started at 15 degrees in the morning at around about 9 o'clock. So whoever is thinking that Morocco is super hot, you started with 15 degrees, and the car was, I assuming, not parked in a refrigerator or so, or in a big underground. So it started with 15 degrees. Then the battery was heated up to 25 degrees. That needs power, of course, and energy. And then it was kept at around about 24 degrees. So I assume that when you're start charging, the battery heats up. So are you charging with DC, or are you converting you're charging with DC via the DC port?
Yeah, so we use quite a unique way of charging the car. So we are using the DC way of charging. So we just have the solar panels DC and then just a DC-DC converter going from a higher voltage to the voltage of the car, and then directly charge the car without any battery in between. So we use the CCS port of the car. Yeah, so
okay, and then we know that from many other cars. So whenever the car is detecting a CCS charging, the car recognizes and says, okay, you want to fast charge the car, and therefore the battery need to be warmed up to more than 20 degrees. And therefore you need power to warm up the battery. So for pure solar driving, it's not the best solution to warm up the battery. But that's very interesting. I think I will have a look on that and try to calculate out what power and what energy was consumed to heat up the battery. I will assume round about 1 up to 2 kilowatt hours you need to heat it up, the battery. And yeah, that's actually what we needed to thermal the battery to 20 degrees. Yeah.
That's quite interesting, because what we noticed in the beginning is that how fast we are charging is very fluctuating. But it could be that it's constantly changing, because then the car is using the energy to heat up the battery. So I would be really interesting in this analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can do that, and we will do that. That's very, very interesting. And of course, yeah, maybe now because you're in a cold area, we can also see, and we will see how this behaves when you're going to areas where the temperature is higher, because then I would assume that you will spare the energy to heat up the battery, but we will see perhaps you need some energy to cool it down.
Yeah. Maybe you see that it will change in the end, that it comes from more like 30 degrees going down to 25. But that would be interesting.
Yeah. That's good. No, but with the solution that you use a DC-DC converter, so for the not electrical experts to transform the voltage of the solar panels, which is varying to let's say to a voltage according to the battery. This is why the DC-DC converter is implemented there, or was invented and built up for that. And that saves a lot of power, of course. But on the other side, like the car recognizes, I'm a DC-DC, I'm on a CCS charger, so I can use a lot of energy and a lot of power to cool or heat up the battery. Maybe we can see how this, how much efficiency it costs to heat up the battery and to cool down the battery.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So everything fine. I selected another solar charging curve. One was on the 26th of November, so a quite good time ago, and the other one was on the 29th. So here we can also see the battery was heated up before from 18 degrees to 24 degrees. And I will now show the power curve. It was not that nice. Maybe, yeah, well, but you can see also the solar, typically solar sun curve, yeah. But you stop charging at round about, what was it, 2 o'clock or so, yeah. So the sundowner we don't see here. And you charge from 70% up to 100%. So it's the first charging 1 to 100% by solar, I think.
Yes, we
see
did
in the world.
Perform the battery test.
Great, yeah. But you performed it, or you started with just with pure solar energy. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.